In this video, we'll look at question 1 from the second paper of the 2017 exam. So in this question here, we are given an expression of y in terms of x, and we're supposed to find the derivative of y with respect to x. So a fairly straightforward question, but we need to make sure we don't get lost in our algebra. So here it is with the numerator in red and the denominator in blue, because as we'll see it is a quotient, and we'll use the quotient rule, which tells us that the derivative of a quotient is bottom times the derivative of the top minus top times derivative of the bottom divided by the denominator squared. So let's try and take these two derivatives. When you do that, we get, in the first case, 2 times the original bracket times the function inside the bracket, or its derivative, which is just -3. That's 2 times bracket times -3. And the derivative of the blue function at the very end will be 3/2 times 2x to 3/2 minus 1. So that's where this 3x to 1/2 comes from. And in the bottom we just square 2x to 3/2. And next we break up this numerator into individual terms. So we'll get 2 terms from here. We'll get 2 times 2 times -3 times 1x to 3/2. So that's -12x to 3/2 divided by the denominator. And we'll break it up like that into 5 different pieces. So the first 2 come from this first part of the fraction, and when we expand this bracket, we get 3 terms. We get 1 minus 6x and 9x squared. So that's 3 more terms here. When we have powers of the same variable in the numerator and denominator, then to get just 1 power, we need to subtract the exponents. So for example, this is going to end up being -3 times x to 3/2 minus 3, which is -3/2. And as we can see, it is in fact -3 times x to -3/2, and so on with every term. We just subtract the exponents and do some cancellations on the numbers. And when we now add the appropriate terms, so when the same powers of x basically, we get just 3 terms in 3 different powers. And as it turns out, that's the correct answer, and in the exam, it was option A. So this question wasn't hard in principle. We basically just differentiated an expression, but it might have happened to some candidates that they got these exponents wrong here. So just remember, in a quotient, you always subtract one from the other.